Good afternoon, students. Welcome to the live lecture of functional analysis. In the last lecture, we have seen some important theorems which are giving us the conditions regarding the topological isomorphism between the two nonlinear spaces. So for the first theorem we have studied is if x and y are topologically isomorphic, if and only if there exists a linear transformation x onto y and the positive constant such that m norm of x is less than or equals to norm p of x less than or equals to m into norm of x. Actually, if the mapping is linear, this right side is giving us boundedness property, and if the mapping linear and bounded, it will be continuous. This left part of the inequality will give us T inverse is bounded. T inverse bounded will give you T inverse continuity. This is what a simple trick to remember the proof of this theorem. Okay, we have completed this proof, and then we have gone towards finding the necessary and sufficient condition for the two norms defined on the given linear space to be equivalent, and the condition is the two norms norm 1 and norm 2 are equivalent if and only if m norm 1 of x is less than or equals to norm 2 of x less than or equals to capital M into norm 1 of x. In order to prove this, we have just found a condition that T and T inverse continuous gives us this inequality. Similarly, T inverse continuous gives us the, or it gives the same open sets on the two domain and codomain sets. That is, they induces the same topology. Therefore, these two becomes equivalent, right? This is also we have completed. The last theorem we have studied is whenever the two norms are equivalent, then if the given linear space is a Banach space with respect to one norm, then it is a Banach space with respect to another norm. Similarly, if a set is bounded with respect to one norm, then it is bounded with respect to the other norm also, right? Now let us move towards the theorem depending on this again, depending on the properties of equivalent norms. Now in this theorem, we were going to show that if the Cauchy sequence is if the sequence is Cauchy in one norm, then it is Cauchy in the second norm as well. Same is true for the convergent sequences. So let me write this statement. Let norm 1 and norm 2 be equivalent norms. Equivalent norms on a linear space X. Okay, then prove that. First, we want to prove that the Cauchy sequence in X norm 1 and X norm 2 are same. Statement number 2 is regarding convergence. So here we will write the convergent sequence in X norm 1 and X norm 2 are same. Right? Let us go for proving the first result, that is the Cauchy sequence in X norm 2 and X norm 1 and norm 2 are same. Actually, why we were calling these same? Because whenever we were constructing a sequence Sn, okay, with the elements say S1, S2 and so on up to Sn. Now here if the sequence is Cauchy with respect to first norm X norm 1, what is the meaning? All those SIs, the sequence elements belongs to the space X, okay, and only if only it satisfies the condition Cauchy condition regarding norm 1, that is norm 1 of Sn minus Sm is less than epsilon. Correct. Now we were going to show that the same sequence is Cauchy with respect to norm 2. That is, our aim is to show that norm of Sn minus Sm, norm 2 of Sn minus Sm is less than epsilon. So what is the meaning? Actually, the sequence remains the same. Only we were proving Cauchy once with respect to norm 1 and once with respect to norm 2. That's why whatever the sequence are we were considering in the two nonlinear spaces, say, actually this will be a single same sequence, but we were proving it is Cauchy with respect to two different norms. Therefore, one can say that the Cauchy sequences are same. Same is true regarding the convergence sequence. Therefore, to prove the Cauchy sequences are same, what we will show? We will we will assume a given sequence is Cauchy with respect to one norm, and we will prove it is Cauchy with respect to the other norm as well. Okay? Yes, is it okay to everyone? Let me start
Yes,
with the
ma'am.
proof. Part 1 I will prove. Okay. Now here let us assume that the sequence is Cauchy with respect to one norm, say x norm 2. Therefore here I am going to write let xn be Cauchy sequence in x norm 2. Okay. Hence, let us write the definition for given x longer than 0. Yes. There exists a station such that, what such that? Norm 2 of xn minus xm less than epsilon for all m n greater equal by capital N. Let me call it as statement number 1. Okay. Now what is the hint with us? The two norms are equivalent, so that we can use the inequality we have written. Right? Here let me write. It is given that norm 1 and norm 2 are equivalent. Okay. Therefore, what we were going to write? We were going to write the existence of there exists small m and capital M greater than 0 such that what such that m norm 2 of x less than or equals to norm 1 of x less than or equals to capital M into norm 2 of x, right? Here, which norm to be written in the middle and which norm to be written in the left and right side, that is going to depend on your the assumption. If here norm 2 is your assumption, na, norm 2 of xn minus xm is less than epsilon, and the aim is to show norm 1 of xn minus xm is less than epsilon. Therefore, I have taken this norm 2 on the left, sorry, on the right of this right part of the inequality, so that if I put this value here xn minus xm, what will be the left part of the inequality is going to become, we were considering this sorry, right part of the inequality, right? Then if I consider the right part of the inequality, okay, consider the right part of the inequality. Correct now? What is the right part? This one. And we were writing this for, consider the right part of the inequality for xn minus xm. Right now? Therefore, can I write norm 1 of xn minus xm is less than or equals to capital M into norm 2 of xn minus xm. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, look at this statement 1 and this one. Actually, the aim is to show this norm 1 of xn minus xm less than epsilon. Now we have this norm 1 of xn minus xm is less than equal to this term, where this norm 2 of xn minus xm is less than epsilon. Actually, our aim is to prove this left hand side is less than epsilon. So can you tell me what should be the adjustment in this?
Epsilon upon m
Yes,
in
it is
equation.
epsilon upon m. Okay. See, I am not forgetting what the change I am doing. Okay. I am purposefully writing, I am purposefully telling you the adjustment. Okay. Therefore, here what can I write? This is m into strictly less than epsilon upon 1. The reason is from statement number 1. Therefore, what we were getting? Strictly less than epsilon. Norm 1 of xn minus xm is less than epsilon. That is true for mn greater than or equals to capital N. Right now? Because this statement is true for mn greater than or equals to n. Therefore, here if I write, it will be true for mn greater than or equals to 1. Therefore, what it is telling us, this implies the sequence xn is Cauchy in which norm now? X norm 1. Okay. Therefore, as of I told you, sequence is not going to change and it is Cauchy with respect to both the norms. Therefore, one can say that the Cauchy sequence are same. Thus, the Cauchy sequence in X norm 1 and X norm 2 are same. Okay? This is what the proof of the first part. Now, in the second part, what we were going to prove, the same concept regarding convergence of a sequence. Therefore, let me start with one convergent sequence. Let xn be convergent, right? Here in which is norm we have assumed, norm 2 we have assumed. Now for the second part, let me assume with respect to norm 1. Let xn be a convergent sequence in x norm 1. Then what is the aim to show? This is convergent in x norm 2 also. Before that, let me write what it is going to mean. Say xn converges to x in x norm 1. Okay, that is, can I write as with respect to norm 1 it is convergent. Therefore, this is norm 1 of xn minus xn converges to 0 as n tends to infinity, or one can write norm 1 of xn minus xn less than epsilon for all n greater than or equals to capital. Any statement you can use. Okay, but tending to 0 will be easier for us to prove. So we were right. Now, as two norms are equivalent,